Okay, I was really gonna let this one go. I'm technically on vacation. I was just gonna say, all right, it'll blow over, it'll stop, and I don't have to weigh in. I don't have to have an opinion. But I can't let it go because it's not stopping. It won't go away. There's this thing now where you're hearing people running around screaming, I called the correction. I saw it coming. I warned everyone. I wrote like my notes about it. I did tweets about it. I put up charts. I called it, etc. So we had a 19.8% correction, almost what you would call a full-blown bear market, technically speaking, in the S&P from September 21st through, I guess, the third week of December. So it almost went down 20%. Maybe it will. Maybe it's not over. And one of the things, like if you're a technician, or if you just understand basic how to read charts, how to look at trends, it was very obvious that in October we had broken an uptrend, broke the 200-day moving average, or broke the 10-month moving average on the S&P, however you want to look at it. And of course, if you looked at anything else, like for example any internals, you saw there was a confirmation of that. So a lot of people did blog posts about it. I probably did one or two. But the thing is, just citing that breakdown of an uptrend, you don't know if it's going to be a false breakdown. Like the next day after you remark upon, oh look, the S&P is below the 200-day moving average, later that day, forget about the next day, it could reverse and be back, quote unquote, in its uptrend. And then people say, oh, it was a failed move. You can only do that diagnosis afterward. Like you can't do it in real time, and you obviously can't do it beforehand. Now, let's say you had done that. You said, all right, we're in a downtrend. Like definitionally speaking, we're below the 200-day or below the 10-month. Pick your time frame. Let's say you defined that in real time, and then there was a reversal, and we got back on track. And right now, December, 2 months later, the market is making new highs. Nobody would remember that you were like, ooh, we made a downtrend. Like you could even delete the tweet, or you could say, well, we did break down, but then it reversed. See, I changed my mind as the facts change. What do you do, sir? So that's so easy to do. So easy. And nobody remembers. So what's the difference? But we did not reverse. And we have now had a correction that's almost a bear market. And so those tweets are not being deleted. And now people are like, see, I told you. I saw it. I saw it happening. I called it in real time. I wrote, what else did I want to say? Oh, so yeah, so anyone knows how to create a chart. One other thing, if you have no money at stake, if you have no clients, or if you don't manage a fund, or if you don't manage any accounts, you could call corrections all day long. Because if you have to change your mind, if you have to, so you could, oh, this is it. This is a breakdown. I'm telling you about it in real time as it's happening. Okay, great. What are you doing about it? Well, nothing, because I don't manage money. Oh, all right. Because if you did, then the implication would be, so you're so sure this is it, real correction, you're going to get out of the way of, you're going to sell everything? Okay. And then what happens, either A, when it bottoms, or B, when it reverses? You buy everything back? Is it a rule? Is it just like when you feel it's over? Now you have no money under management. Well, you don't have to buy anything back. And you don't have to call any client and be like, all right, sorry I sold everything. False alarm. Sorry about the tax liabilities I've created for you. We're going to buy back in. My bad. My bad. Sorry. Like, you're not doing that. If you're just like a guy that's like making market call, you don't have to call anyone and say you were wrong. So it's the easiest thing on earth to manage no money and make market calls. And I don't even mean not even working at a firm that manages it. If you could be a chief strategist, you don't directly answer to any investors. You might answer to the advisors of investors. Big deal. That's pretty easy to do. So if you have no trades to reverse, if you have no portfolio corrections to make, if you have no clients to explain yourself to, your calls, frankly, they don't cost you anything to make. Nobody's impressed. What else did I say? Oh, don't assume that people not commenting on what they did to either minimize their exposure to the market pre a correction, or what they did during a correction, did they add? Like, don't assume that because so many people are silent about what actions they've taken, don't assume they've done nothing or they've taken no actions. That's a pretty big assumption when you understand that almost every single investment business professional is monitored by compliance and has all kinds of restrictions about what they're allowed to say about their day-to-day activity or their performance, and most investment professionals do not run funds. Most are involved with separate accounts. So not every action you take applies to every account, which means you can't talk about any of it. You can't say a word. You can't say a word. You can't even say, oh, well, I got my clients out of X percent. You can't say it because not every account uniformly had the same trading activity. And so if it doesn't apply to all accounts, you can't say it. These are not like how you feel about interpreting. These are literally the rules. So if you're out there being like, ooh, financial advisors didn't do anything, or these asset managers or separate account managers didn't do it, how do you know? You don't know anything. They're not like trying to tell you. They don't care what you think. So I think like there's a lot of guys running around. It's all guys, maybe 2 or 3 women. This is a guy thing. There's a lot of guys running around looking for credit. You get no credit, 0 credit. The credit is what the actual returns of the money you manage are and how your clients feel about what you did. That's how you get credit. It doesn't take place on Twitter. Sorry. All right. I really was going to, I swear, I wasn't going to do this. I had to do this. Don't pay any attention to the war zone behind me. We're doing home improvement nonsense. All right. Bye.